What I was worried about the Xbox seems to already be happening. Let's talk about it. What's going on, you guys? Gaming out here, coming at you another video. Today we're going to be talking about something that I've been very vocal about, is the availability of games on the Xbox hardware, the hardware that I prefer to play. Now, for a while now, I think it's pretty clear that I'm not for this new direction that Microsoft's going, where they're no longer focusing on exclusives to sell the hardware and to get the hardware into consumers, and then people pick up those games and they get that 30%, because that's generally how the model's always been. You get the games out with exclusives and marketing deals, you get it to as many people as you possibly can, and then you start 30%ing everything in your store to make up for the difference that you wouldn't have necessarily sold when it comes to hardware. So the reason they've always took the hit on hardware, because they know the money comes in the back end by just selling games, selling subscription services, selling microtransactions. That's the way the cookies crumbled for a long time. And when they did this new thing, I was very vocal on where's that Final Fantasy VII, where's 7 Rebirth, and the fact that Microsoft's finally getting the personas on the platform. They're finally getting Final Fantasies in general on the platform. Tactics is coming to the platform. I was extremely excited because it's looking like we're finally correcting the ship. We're finally getting the games that I want to play. Keep in mind, I'm a content creator. I got to be able to play these games. I got to be able to give my opinion on these games. And if they don't come to the platform, it's not a whole lot I can do when it comes to that. Now, what is the point of this video today? I am concerned, and I've been concerned for a while, and I've been very vocal about it, that right now we're fine in terms of the Xbox Series S and X. There are games that are skipping the Xbox, but I think that's far in between. I do think Xbox has done a really good job going across seas and really making sure that those games come to the platform. But how long is that realistic for Microsoft and Xbox to keep up that kind of work? You know, when you're going out there and you're putting all this extra effort, all this money, helping with ports, dropping Game Pass bags. I don't know if they're helping with development of the games on their platform anyway. My thing is that realistic for Microsoft and Xbox to continue doing that in the long term? I don't know. I don't know how those things go. But when you look at scenarios like this, it's like, okay, what is going to happen when next gen starts? You know, right now we got like 30, 40 million. You know, we got a decent amount of Xboxes currently on the platform. So there is reasons for developers to port to these platforms and port to these positions, because there is a good amount of consumer base. 30 plus million is a lot of people. It's a lot of people, so I can understand indie developers, AAA, AA. Everyone in the industry would want to, you know, develop for an Xbox. But what I'm looking at is what happens next gen, because we're already seeing this downward trajectory when it comes to selling hardware currently. What happens next gen if that doesn't improve? You know, we're seeing them pull out of, you know, Xbox Game Fest, and we're seeing them pull out of distributions in multiple aspects. We're seeing them pull out of the physical market, but they're still porting games to the physical platforms of other platforms, just not their own. So, you know, you're sitting there looking at that. It's the reason I get nervous on it. What happens next gen if they just don't hit? Whatever they decide to do next gen, because of the brand damage that's coming up to now, we're finally getting to the point where I'm seeing Final Fantasy on Xbox. I'm seeing Persona on Xbox. I'm seeing all these games on Xbox, and it makes me very, very concerned that are we going to continue to get that in the future? And I've been very vocal about that. It's like right now we're good, because Microsoft and Xbox is putting a lot of money behind maintaining these relationships because they want these games on their platform. But if Microsoft and Xbox stop, will these other publishers and developers publish on Xbox by themselves? Now, we're going to pop over here and we're going to read a tweet. Now, for those of you that played the Ori and the Blind Forest, they are games that is pretty good. I would say I really enjoyed them. But essentially, let's look at this here. All right, so we got the person who leads Moon Studio, and they're the ones that make, you know, the Ori games. Right now, they're making, you know, Rest for the Wicked. It's a really fun game. It's on Steam right now, and they're talking about what is the future of the brand going forward, and what platforms is this game going to come on. And said, by the way, given current market conditions, we might only release on PlayStation 5 and potentially Switch 2 for the time being. We'll have to discuss things with Microsoft to see what makes sense for Xbox. AKA, in my opinion, they want a Game Pass back. That's my opinion when it comes to that. Now, look, I will be the first person to say I love when games come to Game Pass, but it's got to be one of those things where the game still comes. It's not on Game Pass. I feel like a lot of these games that were missing Game Pass, Xbox in general, it was those publishers and developers fishing for that Game Pass deal. You know, he's posting this on Twitter. Well, it looks like this is Discord. He's posting this on Discord. If you look at it, that definitely looks like Discord. Because he knows exactly what's going to happen here. It's going to get posted on every social media, you know, the man. It's going to put pressure on Microsoft and Xbox, and he can go to the table of negotiating powers to get a Game Pass back. Now, I don't mind, homeboy, get your money. Get your Game Pass back. But don't use coming on my preferred platform and not coming on my preferred platform as a hostage to get it. Now, obviously, this is like a tactic going into the sense where it's like, look, even if we don't get the Game Pass back, we're still going to do it. But I low-key think that there is a chance that if he doesn't get a Game Pass back, this game's not coming on the platform day and date. And I know a lot of people say, well, Addy, you're going to get the game eventually. When is getting games months and months and months to sometimes years on your platform a good thing? I don't understand when we got into this mindset where we're okay with games missing the platform. And then when I come up here and speak on it, I get nothing but doom and gloom. Oh, Addict, you're just doom and gloom. Oh, Addict, they do nothing. I want the games that I want to play to hit the platform I want to play it on. A lot of the times when I try to get review codes for games down, the Xbox version's not done. They say check back at launch if you want Xbox codes. But I got Steam and PlayStation codes for you. Microsoft's missing out on the majority of the marketing in the industry. But I'm the one that's getting called doom and gloom. Stop attacking me for pointing out flaws that I believe, never claimed that I'm right. I don't know if I'm right, but I like to think from looking in the industry for as long as I have, stuff like this is a red flag. It's very worrisome for me. It is, because it's like, if this game doesn't come to Xbox, and I enjoyed what I played on Steam. I thought it was a fun experience. Does it come to Xbox if he doesn't get this Game Pass? Because that's what it does. You know, we'll read it again. But it does really scream, I need this Game Pass back. By the way, given current market conditions, which obviously is the Xbox hardware is declining and it's not selling as much as you typically would want, we might only release on PlayStation 5, potentially the Switch 2 for the time being. We'll have to discuss things with Microsoft to see what makes sense for Xbox. To me, that is beyond screaming. We want this game to get a Game Pass back. And is he going to do that in the long term of things? I don't know. I have no clue if that's going to happen. But it's just disappointing if it doesn't come to the platform. And then it just makes me look at like the long term stuff going on. It's like, what happens if next gen, the Xbox doesn't sell the greatest? Does Square Enix, does Capcom, does the big AAA people start pulling back? Now, obviously, cross-gen games, you'll probably still be fine because there's still going to be a 30 million plus audience on there. But what happens when we get next-gen only games? And, you know, obviously, that's going to be a minute from now. But people sit there and attack me for just asking questions. I don't know if any of this looks good, but when I'm seeing games from like AA to indies already threatening to pull out of the market in terms of Xbox, I got to think that there's AAA people thinking the same thing. That's just my opinion on the matter. Doesn't mean it's right. I don't know. Look, you guys could sit here. You could call me doom and gloom. You could do whatever you want till you're blue in the face. I just want the hardware to be relevant for as long as possible. Sure, we're getting a next gen, but if we get half the games because the audience isn't there and the amount of units that's sold isn't there, is that really a gen in terms of anyway? I've always said, sure, we'll probably get a next gen of Xbox. But the trajectory that Microsoft's going and the fact that I feel like they're not putting no money behind whatsoever selling the hardware or even making it enticing for other people to buy the hardware because they're missing a lot of the key marketing. If they don't care about hardware selling now, what makes me think that they're going to care later? And that's just my question to you guys. I don't know. Look, I know you guys think this is like, I do these for clicks. I don't do these for clicks. I would love to be able to get on this platform and talk positive about the Xbox brand, which I do. But you guys don't care when I talk about positive. You guys only hyper focus on the negative, and it's not my fault that there's so much damn negative news on the Xbox brand. That is not my fault. So if you guys get mad at that, go get mad at Xbox. I don't know, man. In my opinion, a game, even though it may not be massive, you know, No Rest for the Wicked, I wouldn't say is like a AAA product that we're going to be missing. Potentially. Allegedly. But it's still very concerning to me. And that's just me. I'm always going to keep it real. I'm always going to be honest with you guys. And that's just my opinion on the matter. But anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm very curious you guys' opinion. I don't normally post videos this late. But when I saw this, I'm like, man, this is something I'm myself nervous of happening more. Now, right now, we're not going to have it happen to like a huge great amount because of the current gen we're in, and it's got a decent amount of units out. But I'm curious and worried about next gen. But anyway, put the comment section below. I'm very curious you guys' opinion on that. And until next time, this is Gaming Addict. I'm out of here. Peace. Follow me on Twitter. Damn.